Everyone thinks they're free, but you work to survive. You pay to live. You obey systems you never consented to. You scroll your phone while the world burns. You party while a digital cage is being welded around your mind. You go to work, raise your kids, and try to pretend it's all normal. But deep down, you know something's wrong. This might be the most uncomfortable video you watch this year, not because it's outrageous, but because you already know it's true.
We won! We did it! Yes!
James Martinez warned us.
Because there's people coming out in the public that are saying what your evolution is going to be, like Noah Harari.
So it is a distinct possibility that computers will outperform us in most tasks and will make humans redundant. And then the big political and economic question of the 21st century will be, what do we need humans for? Or at least, what do we need so many humans for?
Do you have an answer in the book?
At present, the best guess we have is keep them happy with drugs and computer games.
Nobody rebuts him and gets in his face. They all pay for these huge stages, so they go on and everybody bows to them, but nobody rebuts. And in a court of law, if you have a conflict, you have to rebut. Silence is acquiescence. Acquiescence is agreement. There's no ignorance under the law. These are very important maxims that people need to understand, because you're not going to get second chances for this shit. There's going to be no second chances. They don't care.
MK Ultra whistleblower. He said the extinction level event wouldn't come with bombs or fire. It would come through convenience, through technology, through silence. And now, a federal lawsuit has confirmed the next stage has begun. Filed against Palantir Technologies, its founder Peter Thiel, CEO Alex Karp, and the charge? Synthetic intelligence. Not just AI, but machines trained to profile, predict, and control human thought. Not with your compliance. Their software used by the Pentagon, CIA, and DHS is now accused of tracking your behavior, harvesting your biometric data, manipulating your beliefs, and even predicting crimes before they happen. Cognitive liberty, the right to think freely, is under attack. Welcome to the war for your mind.
They making changes to compensation. Don't know what you face. I know my life is what I make.
You are owned. Not metaphorically, legally. Let me explain. When you were born, your name was converted into all capital letters. A trust account, created without your knowledge. They created a corporate fiction, a straw man, then bonded it, and used it as collateral in the global debt system. Your birth certificate is not just a record, it's a receipt. And your social security number is an account number. In 1933, under House Joint Resolution 192, the U.S. declared bankruptcy and confiscated all gold. From that moment forward, you became the collateral for the national debt. You are the surety, the product, the property.
The court finds you guilty.
Jesus said, "Declare me Lord and Savior, and you shall be saved." Why? Because declaration is law. Words bind reality. Belief becomes contract. Creation follows covenant. The universe is mental.
From the whispers of antiquity, the written word has forged reality. Each character a spark, each phrase a universe.
In the beginning was the Word. They inverted it. They taught you silence was safe, that not speaking up was wisdom, that ignoring evil meant you were innocent. Wrong. In law, silence is acquiescence.
Rebuts him and gets in his face. They all pay for these huge stages, so they go on and everybody bows to them, but nobody rebuts. And in a court of law, if you have a conflict, you have to rebut. Silence is acquiescence. Acquiescence is agreement. There's no ignorance under the law. These are very important maxims that people need to understand, because you're not going to get second chances for this shit.
Acquiescence is consent. They showed you what they would do in movies, in music, in TV. They called it fiction, but it was always a contract. Revelation of the method. If you see it and do not object, they are free to proceed. In the wild, awareness kept you alive. In modern life, comfort kills you. You traded sovereignty for convenience. You could grow your food, but you bought poison from a store. You could have walked in freedom, but you carried the tracking device called a phone. First they gave you pagers, then phones, then social media, then AI. And now, the merger is complete.
You're real. Close enough. I can feel you.
Your thoughts are harvested, your words are filtered. Your reality is curated by code. You are the livestock of a system you didn't build, because you never rebutted the claim that they owned you. They said it was safe. They said it was effective. They lied. 27% higher cancer risk, 6 times the autoimmune disorders, 0 ADHD in unvaccinated children. But who profited? You got depression. They got billions. You got infertility.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got a problem. We got a huge problem. We're running out of people. Yeah, I know. You've heard a lot about the birth rate recently. There's been a lot of doom and gloom. And I am here to tell you that that is all justified. It's actually pretty bad. And yeah, so it's a huge problem. And outside of the economic argument, we're talking about specifically, this seems to be more of a spiritual issue too. I mean, you have populations, and this is all across the West. This is happening. This birth rate crisis is happening not just now across the West, which we know about, but it's happening globally.
They got patents. They never cared about your health. They cared about your compliance. Every system you depend on is monetized. Medicine, media, education, food, water. Every solution leads to further dependency. And the more convenient your life becomes, the more control they have over it. Why does nothing change? Why are the corrupt never punished? Because the law protects property, and you never claimed yourself. You consented. You complied. You failed to rebut. MK Ultra, legal. Tuskegee, legal. Vaccines, GMOs, EMFs, legal. Because in commercial law, if you do not object, you agree. You can scream on social media, you can riot in the streets. But until you send a declaration, an affidavit, a notice, you are still the debtor, still the slave, still the property. But there is a way out. Because what enslaved you was not chains, it was contracts. And the contracts can be broken by higher law. The universe is mental. What you think becomes. What you speak binds. What you declare becomes law. Affidavits, declarations, notices of claim. These are not paperwork. These are spells. This is spiritual warfare written in ink, filed in court, and enforced by your will. This is why they fear it. Because when the living man speaks, the dead corporation must obey. One woman removed $61,000 in debt with a single affidavit. What could 1,000 sovereigns do? Mass notices, public liens, common law juries, commercial enforcement. This isn't rebellion, it's remedy. You don't need a revolution. You need paperwork. Because in the world of commercial warfare, the pen is truly mightier than the sword. You have 2 choices. Remain a debtor and let them harvest your data, inject your children, and tax your breath. Or reclaim your throne, become the creditor, declare your sovereignty. This is not theory, it's law. This is not hope, it's remedy. This is not about fear, it's about freedom. We built the blueprint. We packaged the remedy. 5 books, 1 bundle. Sovereign law. Everything you need to become untouchable. The maxims, the codes, the objections, the handbook, the protocol. Visit sovereignlawofficial.com because they only own what you fail to claim.